everybody, welcome to my video tutorial on how to properly use your Kitchenaid. In this video, we'll be covering basic parts and functions of the mixer, how to operate the appliance, attachments, safety, and proper care for your Kitchenaid. Before we begin, let's go over some safety precautions to be aware of before operating your mixer. You should always exercise care when operating your Kitchenaid mixer so that you can avoid unnecessary accidents and safely use your appliance. So the first thing you want to do before doing anything else is check the cord and plug for any damages such as exposed wires, cuts in the cord, or even a bent plug. You can see here that this cord is very sturdy and there's no damage to it, so we are good to use it. The next thing you want to be cautious of is where you place the cord when using the mixer. Whether your mixer is plugged or unplugged, always make sure that the cord is not hanging off the edge of the counter. If the cord is hanging off the edge, it can easily get caught or snagged on something and cause damage to the machine. Another thing you want to watch out for is that the cord is not near a sink or any water. This can cause electric shock, so you should never put your cord anywhere that it is at risk of submerging in water or being soaked. When your mixer is not in use, you should always unplug it from the outlet. This includes when you are adding ingredients to the bowl, switching out or removing attachments, removing the bowl, or cleaning the machine. You want to make sure that your mixer is unplugged to avoid accidentally switching the machine on when you're in the process of doing something such as removing the bowl or cleaning the machine. Before operating your mixer, you want to make sure that it is in a safe place on your countertop. You should never have your Kitchenaid near the edge of the countertop or hanging off the edge. When your mixer is mixing, it can move around a bit and you don't want it to accidentally fall off the edge of the counter. Because it is a heavy appliance, it can easily be damaged if dropped off the counter, so be careful that you put it in a safe place where it won't fall off the edge. When your mixer is operating, you should never put a foreign object in contact with moving parts. This includes your hands, long hair, which should be pulled back, any loose or hanging clothes, and any spatulas, spoons, or other utensils. If you need to scrape something off the edge of the bowl or the beaters, you always make sure to turn off the mixer before doing so that you don't injure yourself or damage the machine. When purchasing replacements or new attachments for your Kitchenaid, always make sure to purchase products recommended or directly sold by Kitchenaid. The use of any other brands could potentially cause electrical shock, fire, or injury. If you misplace or damage any attachments or other parts of the Kitchenaid, you can contact Kitchenaid by calling their Customer Satisfaction Center at 1-800-541-6390. The last thing that I want to discuss before operating this machine is that you should always use care when operating it. Because the Kitchenaid mixer is a heavy appliance, supervision is always necessary. If children are going to be operating the machine, they should be supervised by adults, and you should also supervise the machine itself at all times to ensure that it is performing properly and not at risk of malfunctioning or becoming damaged. Now that we have gone over how to safely operate your Kitchenaid, let's talk about how to use the mixer. This part right here is your main source of power, and this is called the motor head. The motor head has controls on it that allow you to change the speed of the mixer and lock the head, and I'm going to show you that right now. You'll notice on this right side that there is a lever and a series of numbers ranging from 0 to 10. If we have the knob set to 0, the mixer will be off and not mixing. Always make sure to have your mixer on this setting before switching out parts or moving your machine. Now you can see that between 0 and 2, there is a setting for stir. And this setting is the lowest speed on your Kitchenaid, and it is good for mashing, stirring, or combining foods. This setting can also be used for mixing heavy mixtures. The next setting is number 2. Now this setting is only slightly faster than stir and can be used to stir heavy batters or for whipping soft foods such as mashed potatoes. Setting number 4 should be used when mixing medium to heavy batter. This includes when you have added something heavy to the batter such as butter or sugar. Setting number 6 should be used when beating or churning food. This setting can be used for creaming, whipping, or even juicing. Setting number 8 should be used when you need to whip or beat something at a faster speed. This includes things such as heavy whipping cream, egg whites, or even frosting. Now the last setting, speed 10, is the highest speed and can be used when mixing heavy mixtures or combining food. You should never start your mixture on the highest speed. Instead, you should start on a low setting and gradually increase speed as necessary. This can save you the trouble of cleaning up a huge mess if your speed is too fast and whipping food everywhere. Now on the left side here, you'll notice that there is a little lever which is left to right, and there are 2 icons, one with the motor head up and one with the motor head down. If we turn the knob to the left, this setting, the motor head will be locked, so you cannot pull it up. You want to set the knob to this setting when mixing so that your motor head is not bouncing up and down while it mixes. If we switch it back to the right side, you can now lift the motor head and remove the bowl or add ingredients. Moving on to the motor head, if you look here on the front part of the motor head, you'll notice this little metal plate with a knob attached. This is not just for decoration. If you twist the knob to loosen it, this hubcap will actually come off, and from here you can attach different attachments such as a pasta roller, a meat grinder, or even a food processor. And when you put it back, you want to make sure it's tight and so that it doesn't come out or fall out. Right here is your beater shaft, and that's where you're going to attach mixing tools such as a whisk or beater. If you lift the motor head right here, you'll notice that there is a screw. This screw actually controls the height of your beater shaft right here. And if you loosen the screw to the left, it will actually raise this shaft. So if your beater is maybe scraping close to the bottom, you can raise it just a bit. Now, if we look here on the bottom, you'll notice this big metal circle, and that is called the bowl clamping plate. What it does is it allows you to lock your bowl in place so that it's not moving around when mixing. To lock your bowl, you simply want to place the bowl on the bowl clamping plate and turn it clockwise to lock it. To unlock it, you just turn it counterclockwise and it'll pop right out. You always want to make sure that your bowl is locked in place before mixing so that your bowl doesn't jiggle around or spin off the mixer. Now that we have gone over how to properly use the mixer, let's talk about the different attachments that you can use for mixing. There are 3 attachments for mixing that come with your Kitchenaid. We have the flat edge beater, the wire whip, and the dough hook. So for the flat edge beater here, it can be used for mixing, beating, or even mashing. You'll want to use this attachment when stirring any batters or mixes. Using this attachment will help you thoroughly combine mixtures or stir batters, as it is able to reach every point of the bowl. Next we have the wire whip, which basically looks like a whisk. This attachment can be used for whisking mixtures to add volume or air. You would use this attachment when whipping egg whites or making whipped cream so that air can be whipped in the mixture. It can also be used for frostings or icings, or generally anything you want to add a little fluff to. This last attachment is the dough hook and can be used to knead dough. This attachment will actually save you a lot of time spent if you were to knead dough by hand. You should use this attachment when making dough of any kind because it will help your dough have a fluffier texture than if done by hand. If you look here at the top of all 3 attachments, you'll notice that there's a little hole in a socket for it to be placed on the mixer. So to do that, you're going to take your beater, line that hole up with the knob on the beater shaft, and you're going to lift up and turn clockwise. Now your beater will be locked in place. To remove it, once again lift up and turn counterclockwise, and it comes right off. This will be the same for all 3 beaters. Another attachment that comes with your Kitchenaid is the pouring shield. This shield is made to help you pour ingredients into the bowl without making a mess. It also shields ingredients such as flours or other liquids so that they don't fly out of the bowl and create a huge mess. So as you can see, the Kitchenaid is a very multi-purpose and practical machine. It can be used for a lot more than just baking, and this makes it useful to have in any kitchen. Thank you for watching and enjoy making yummy creations.